Welcome back folks to another video. I guess this has been overdue for good now. Right now we are going to cover all the important aspects about XRP, if it's like worth investing right now still, and how it's about trading. Like, would I trade right now? What is the trade setup? What requirements do we have to meet? And so on and so forth. Without further ado, let's get into it, folks. Like, even if we just go on CoinMarketCap, which doesn't have any trading indicators or anything, we can clearly spot, and there have been a lot of comments regarding that we see here a really noticeable triangle pattern, like a consolidation that is coming up around the $2.20 marks, like 2.20, 2.25, around that point. And we're really like heading towards the end right now. It's really visible on the chart. I can even open up like TradingView right now for a second, and if right now we're looking at the weekly chart, we see exactly that. There is a triangle formation on the chart, really visible, honestly, to everybody who has a little bit of a sense for trading. He will see that immediately. And we're like, let's say in 1 or 2 weeks we're gonna see a decision, like whether the price is gonna drop, whether we are gonna see like an extended bear phase, bear circle, whatever, and like a stronger price correction towards 150, 140, whatever, or if we're gonna see an immediate price spike that is really unknown where it could go. It could go a lot higher than expected. It could go just a little bit to just hitting a new all-time high is like the minimum I expect. I expect it to at least break 380, 385, a new all-time high, while Bitcoin is gonna reach its cycle top. I mean, historically, we have seen it often enough that XRP just needs a bit more time to actually like unfold its great potential. Like, for example, in the bull run 2021, we saw Bitcoin's all-time high like coming in July 2021, followed by a big and long price dropping phase. But XRP actually just reached it in the end of 2021. At that point, it's really unknown how high it can go. I mean, you could open up like the Fibonacci retracements, you could try to make it up somehow, but it's really not that accurate, to be honest, folks. It's not all about the retracements, but what I expect the least is going to be a new all-time high, which is somewhere around here, around the 380, 385 mark. This is what we have to expect at least from the current bull cycle of XRP. Otherwise, just sell it and never buy it again. But I'm pretty convinced there is a lot more to come. That to be said about the frequent request of, is it still worth buying this shit? I would say yes. Yes, it's overall still worth buying XRP in my opinion. I am still stacking it up as well. I bought it for 45 cents, I bought it for 55 cents, bought it for $1.10, I bought it for 180, I even bought it for 260, and I have no regrets, folks. Because even if you bought it at 260 and it's now a bit falling down, you're like, oh fuck, I'm in a loss, what am I supposed to do? Doesn't matter that much. It's just temporarily. Like, as long as you don't sell, you don't have any realized loss. It's just your exchange of choice that displays, oh, you're in a loss. No, I'm not in a loss. The actual profit or loss is at the moment that I sell the asset. And I am 99.9% convinced there is gonna come a point where you can sell a lot higher than 227, which we're seeing right now. And regarding the current trade setup, I would say pretty similarly to what Dennis analyzed as well, is that we're actually right now, let me pull up the XRP BTC chart, is that once we break into that red zone right here, which is the, well, quadruple 0.15 mark on the chart, that is going to be the point where you can pretty confidently open up a long trade position. I'm gonna explain to you why, but for this to work out, we got two requirements that have to be met. First of all, Bitcoin at least has to retain its strength right now, has to retain the 110k bar or even go higher, while XRP drops to 190, 180. And once that requirement is met and we found ourselves within this rectangle and, well, just getting around there for a little bit, then we can pretty confidently set up a long trade, like a really good risk reward, because we can set the take profit as high as we want. Like, we can actually set it up here, for example, which on the actual USD XRP chart would mean about $4. We can put it at 430. There is a lot to come in my opinion, and that could be a truly life-changing trade if you go with a low leverage, so you can just compensate if it drops a little more and you stick to it. But I'm gonna be updating you folks either on Telegram or on the IG. So make sure you check them out, because I have no clue when the next video on this channel is gonna come out. Maybe it's gonna take another 6 months again, but let's just see. I'm gonna keep you updated, folks, about this one. And to round up the whole story, I got a neat featuring for you today, guys. I hope you're interested in something like that, like low market cap, like pre-sale projects and stuff. I know these are kind of risky things, but honestly, if you go for the right projects, if you invest into the right coins, you can make some hilarious profits. Like for example with Bitcoin. Back in the days in 2022 and 2023, there have been so many opportunities, and it would be just a waste to believe that in 2025 there would be no similar options. There actually are so many options, and I want to just tell you why I think that Shibadino could be a thing. There is no way to promise on this. I mean, it could go anywhere, it could go down, it could go up. No any guarantee. And again, this is non-financial advice, but let's quickly go through it and you can just tell by yourself if this is something for you or not. First of all, what sets Shibadino apart of a lot of other projects in this stage is that they promise to give you a liquidity at launch of 2,222,222 USDT while raising 3 million. Meaning at launch, you're gonna have about 66% liquidity, while other projects give you 10 to 20%. And if you have such a low liquidity on other projects, it's really just enough for them to sell 10% of their bags and they're gonna fucking rug pull this. And in here, it's not the case. At least it's not as likely, because not only do we have a very high liquidity, but if you take a look at the tokenomics, very important, you're gonna see that the team receives just 2.5% of the tokens, which is really not much. Meaning even if they go crazy, even if they sell their whole bag at once, right after launch, they're not going to be doing that much to the chart. They're not going to ruin the whole project at once. And that's very great to see, because that is where 99% of projects just die. Because, well, the price drops by 99% when the team is selling off and rug pulling it. And once you get apart this stage without getting rug pulled, I guess there could come something up. Again, I am not 100% convinced this is going to go through the roof. If you want to have something safe, you should definitely opt for Bitcoin or XRP in my opinion. But honestly, if you have some spare money in the back and you are looking for an opportunity for the next possible 10x or 100x, whatever you can imagine, why not give it a shot? I'm going to be following it, definitely. One more aspect that I forgot to mention is the exclusive NFT collection, which is quite neat. Like most tokens don't have it, but they actually have an NFT collection of 222 Shibadinos, which honestly don't look bad, like at a first glance at least. And you can get them by just investing a high amount, which you shouldn't do in my opinion, but there is going to be occasional airdrops after launch where you can actually just acquire like 1 or 2 NFTs if you're getting a bit lucky. And that's basically everything that has to be said about Shibadino and XRP currently. And if you still got any remaining questions, then feel free to drop them in the comments. I'm gonna be reading them all at some point. And if there comes up a lot, I'm gonna be looking forward to make a new video soon again. See you folks for now. Bye.